Hey, welcome back. In today's video, we're breaking down something that had absolutely everyone in the COTA paddock's heart in their mouth. Marc Marquez, the reigning world champion, slammed into the barrier at nearly 200 kilometers per hour during the first practice session of the 2026 America's GP. We'll walk you through exactly what happened, get the latest on Marquez's condition, hear what he had to say about it all, and take a hard look at why Turn 10 at COTA has long been a disaster waiting to happen. Right then, let's get into it. Picture this Friday morning in Austin, Texas. FP1 has barely been running 10 minutes. Marc Marquez, fresh off a sprint race victory in Brazil the previous weekend, heads out looking every bit the confident champion. But just a few laps in, everything goes horribly wrong. The rear of Marquez's Ducati GP26 suddenly stepped out over the crest at turn 10. As the rear tire came back down onto the tarmac, Marquez lost the front, and the bike went down, sending him sliding through the gravel and straight into the barriers. At the time of the crash, Marquez was traveling at over 190 kilometers per hour when he lost control at the fast left-hander. This wasn't just your bog-standard high side. This was a proper heavy crash. One that immediately brought out the red flag to halt the session. The early photos that circulated looked deeply alarming. Marquez appeared to be sandwiched between his bike and the barrier. But not long after, he was spotted heading back to the Ducati garage on a scooter, seemingly having dodged anything truly serious. That said, he was clearly not in great shape. Marquez was slow to get to his feet after the crash and was seen removing his left glove before eventually walking away from the scene. Condition update. What did the Ducati team say? Naturally, everyone was on tenterhooks waiting for the official word. Ducati Lenovo team manager Davide Tardozzi was quickly on hand to give an update. Nothing is broken. It is only a skin issue. He can ride again, but it will be very painful, Tardozzi confirmed. Now, a skin issue here means road rash and abrasions from sliding across the asphalt and gravel. And if you've ever seen what that looks like up close, it's absolutely brutal. This is no minor inconvenience you can simply shrug off. Marquez also took a heavy knock to his right arm and left hand. Worth remembering. This is a rider with a long and complicated history of right shoulder injuries, so any impact to that area is always cause for extra concern. MotoGP's medical director, Dr. Angel Charte, ultimately cleared Marquez to return to the circuit having found no serious injury. And here's where it gets genuinely remarkable. Marquez went on to post the fourth fastest time in that very same FP1 session and then dominated the afternoon practice to secure a direct spot in Q2. Marquez speaks, "This one's entirely on me." One of the things that's always made Marquez such a compelling figure is his honesty. He doesn't make excuses. He doesn't point fingers. And after the session, he stood in front of the media in Austin and told it straight. "Today was completely my mistake," he said. "Turn 10 is one of my favorite corners because it's one of the areas where my riding style gives me an advantage." But then he explained what actually went wrong. "You carry a muscle memory of how to ride through a corner, and on laps 3 or 4, I tried to approach it the same way as always. But I didn't account for the fact that this circuit picks up new bumps from one year to the next. This is a really important point. A circuit isn't a fixed, unchanging thing. COTA is notorious for its ever-shifting surface. New bumps appear, fresh cracks open up, the tarmac shifts under Texas's brutal heat and weather cycles. And Marquez, who relies so heavily on instinct and the muscle memory built up over thousands of laps, was caught out by changes he hadn't yet had the chance to read. He also revealed that the right shoulder he injured at the 2025 Indonesian GP wasn't the problem this time. And in typical Marquez fashion, he quipped, "The shoulder is fine. After the crash, I stopped feeling pain there because the pain had moved somewhere else." Classic Marquez that. Takes a massive tumble, cracks a joke about the agony, and gets straight back on the bike. About turn 10. This isn't the first time. To his credit, though, Marquez didn't let one crucial point go unaddressed: the state of the runoff area at turn 10, which he feels is simply not fit for purpose. "At that corner, several riders have already reached the wall," he said. "It's a bit on the limit because we arrived there at high speed. Around 200 kilometers per hour. The fact that I lost the front just as I was opening the throttle meant everything happened at even greater speed. They are aware of it, and I hit the wall at high speed. Turn 10 doesn't have much room for runoff, as crashes there have historically been rare. But arriving over a blind crest and immediately throwing the bike into a fast left-hander is an enormous ask for a MotoGP machine. This isn't idle grumbling. This is a serious warning from the reigning world champion. If something far worse were to happen there, and at those speeds, it absolutely could. The question would have to be asked, why wasn't this addressed sooner? A bit of context you should know. For anyone who's only recently started following the 2026 season, a bit of background helps here. Marquez has won at COTA 7 times, but his last victory there was back in 2021. In both 2024 and 2025, he crashed out from the front at that very same circuit. So there's a lingering sense of unfinished business, and perhaps a touch of an Austin hoodoo hanging over him. In the current standings, Marquez sits 5th, 22 points behind championship leader Marco Bezzecchi on the Aprilia. Plenty of ground still to make up. But in a tight title fight, every single point matters, and a crash on Friday morning is hardly the start to the weekend he would have planned. And given the severity of the shoulder injury he sustained in Indonesia in 2025, which kept him out for much of the remainder of that season, it's no wonder that every time he hits the deck hard, the whole paddock collectively holds its breath. And yet, you have to take your hat off to him. Amidst all the drama, one thing simply cannot be argued with. Marquez's mentality is something else entirely. He crashed at over 190 kilometers per hour. He hit a concrete wall. He walked away battered, bruised, and in real pain. And yet, within hours, he was back out on track, riding flat out, and putting in the lap times to go straight through to Q2 as one of the session's fastest. That's not something you learn from any book. That's sheer character. And that, regardless of where you stand on Marquez as a person or a racer, is precisely what makes him one of the most compelling riders to watch in the modern era of MotoGP. So, there you have it. Everything you need to know about Marc Marquez's FP1 crash at COTA in 2026. From the terrifying moments of the incident itself, to the medical update, to Marquez's frank admission of his own error, and the very real questions being raised about the safety of Turn 10. Now, it's your turn. Do you reckon Marquez can still fight for a race win at COTA this weekend, or is his body going to get the better of him? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you've got something to say about Turn 10 and track safety in MotoGP more broadly, we'd love to hear that too. If you found this useful, give it a like and hit subscribe. We cover every MotoGP race weekend as it happens. And if you've got a mate who's been wondering how Marquez is doing, send this video their way right now. Cheers for watching. Catch you in the next one. Keep watching, keep the passion burning, and we'll see you on the other side of race day.